Hello and welcome to the November 2020 update from Clydebridge station. You've obviously seen the new arrival on the layout recently, 47346. I'll just briefly talk a little bit more about that shortly. Rather nippy this month, but we'll get on with the update and show you what has been done and what's going to be done. And if you've got any comments, queries or suggestions, please put them in the comments box at the bottom of the page. In addition, just before I do start, a quick shout out and hello to Townhill Junction, which is going to be set in a fictional location in West Fife. He's just getting underway with planning out and building his layout. He's just got to get the floor done in the loft, and it's going to be set in the privatisation era, so please give that a quick look. And he's on Facebook as well as here on YouTube, so quick shout out to him. And now we'll get on with what's been happening over the last month. When I done the review of the 47346, I had to put in the description of the video something that I failed to mention in the actual video itself. And I'd forgotten to mention the livery, the non-standard livery it carried when it was allocated to Thornaby Depot. Now it had the Rail Freight large logo grey livery, the original Rail Freight livery, but Thornaby, as I previously mentioned, were well known for their unofficial customisations of locos, the most famous being 37501 Teesside Steelmaster, which gained British Steel livery in 1987. It lost it in summer 89 for Rail Freight Metals livery. Well, the customisation done to 47346 when it was a Thornaby Rail Freight machine was, instead of having the numbers below the cab side there, we put large logo numbers on it as if it was a large logo blue machine. Totally unofficial, and it eventually lost these when it gained the civil engineers colours that you see here. Thornaby and Tinsley Depot in Sheffield were the two most famous depots for unofficial customisations, which frequently gained the heavy hand from Rail Freight management and indeed from the British Railways Board as well. Something you don't see a lot of today on the railways, I should point out. We've got the lamp posts in place now on platforms 5 and 6, and like the posts on platforms 1 to 4, they are non-operational. I haven't put the numbers on yet because I haven't got numbers for 5 and 6, so I'm going to have to work on that, but I have got ScotRail Clydebridge signs, which I will put on. I must make a confession here as well. Not long after I actually set these up and got them glued into position, this particular one here, I actually managed to knock and break, so I've had to actually try and somehow, you can see there it's not exactly centred, that's where it broke off, so I had to actually glue it back on. That's basically a message to just be careful with what you're doing, because as you can well know, these sorts of things are actually quite easy to damage. But that now completes all the lamp posts for this part of the station area. I still need lights for this area here, but my local model shop sells Gauge Master lights that are like street lights. They'll actually be ideal for here as well, so I will be installing them at some point in 2021. Must mention as well that although mine are non-operational, they are supplied as operational, and you can wire them up to low voltage circuits and control them from your DCC controller if you so wish. It's just that I don't have the space underneath, nor the time or the temperament to actually be able to do that, so I've left mine as non-operational. Hey, it's set in the summer of 1990, so they weren't on that much. So that's that bit done. As I say, there'll be lights excuse me, there'll be lights installed here and probably around about here and here at some point in the future, as well as street lights out on the main street there, and that'll be the first part of that done. I may well install some signs on these lamps at the station as well. I haven't made my mind up yet, but I may well end up doing that. Now, before I move on to the next bit, quick shout out to a couple of people, of course, as usual. David Watson with Dean Park Station. He's just recently done his update for November, so go and check that out, where he's doing a lot of scenic work, and he's also starting to build a low relief factory unit as well. Everard Junction's recently built a block of flats, and I'll tell you, it's one hell of a structure. So go and check him out as well, Everard Junction. We've finally got signage up on the bus station bit with Strathclyde Transport on it. And if I zoom the camera in a little bit, you can just see that X there on the wood. Just to the right of that, you'll see the starting of the mesh fencing from Scale Model Scenery. I'm going to try and install some of that along there as well, and what that will then allow me to do is make it as if the bus station sits like that, and it's a sort of protection fence for the workers. The signage is correct for Strathclyde Transport as it was in 1990, and there'll be nobody behind that fence once I've got it installed, and I'm planning to run it all the way along past the Comet store, and I may actually replace the fencing you've got on there with that fencing as well. In addition though, when I'm here, I'm going to have to try and fill these gaps up with my household filler and use a matching paint if I can to be able to get it all to blend in. So the first little bit has been installed, and I'll be installing, hopefully I'll be installing more over the next month, and then getting the wire mesh on so that I can then, chain link it's called, the fencing, and get it all on to try and complete that whole area there. Quick shout out while I'm here to West Blyth MPD, who I know always enjoys watching my videos, so thank you very much. Also a quick shout out while I'm here to Dudley Central, and on the day that this was getting filmed, it should have been the weekend of the Worley Model Railway Show at the NEC in Birmingham, but with the COVID-19 situation it's not on this year, but it has been put on the internet as a virtual show. Speaking of shows as well, COVID-19 has obviously decimated the calendar this year, but the Cooper Model Railway Show have announced that they're planning, COVID permitting, to have their show at the Corn Exchange in 2021. If you go to the Cooper Model Railway Club website, www.coopermrc.co.uk, there should be full details of it on there. It is also on the club's Facebook page as well. So let's just hope that that goes ahead in 2021. Not much has been done on the town scene, but you can see here we've now finally got the office block completed. I have to admit the Strathclyde Regional Council sign is a bit oversized, but it was a file from my old laptop and I don't know how I can shrink it down, so I've just had to leave it like that with the Social Work Department sign below it. It is again correct as per 1990. Although I've said that this layout is set in Lanarkshire, I must explain to people who were perhaps born after 1996. Scottish local government used to be a two-tier system with 9 large regional councils and a large number of district councils. Certain large functions like social work, education, roads, transport, they were the domain of the regional councils, and smaller functions like parks, bin lorries, libraries were the responsibility of district councils, but in 1996 that was all abolished and replaced by a single tier system, and there are 32 councils. It's worth actually mentioning that Fife was the only one to survive both the 1974 and 1996 reorganisations intact. So Clydebridge Regional Council would have been correct for the 1990 period. If it was after April 1996, it would be North or South Lanarkshire that would have been the signage on there. While I'm actually up here and we're on about other model railway clubs, give a quick shout out to the Glenrothes Model Railway Club. I don't know if their show is going to be on next year, but if it is, I'll try and get along and film that, and we wish them the best of luck with that. Also give a quick shout out to one of the layouts from the Cooper Model Railway Club, Eden Road TMD. They're building a new passenger layout as well, small passenger layout, and that's Eden Park. Now, if you're actually watching this Cooper Model Railway Club, a little tip for you. You need a rugby ground on Eden Park, and there is a rugby ground called Eden Park in Auckland that hosted the 1987 Rugby World Cup final. Little idea for you. Just before I do finish off this month's update, because I haven't done a lot, you'll be wondering about the noise that you've heard. Well, this is what it's coming from. It's this thing here. It's a little fan heater. It has two speed settings for heat, and it's also got a fan symbol for cold air. This is ideal for out here in this shed, which is out in a garden, but I think they would also be ideal if you were up in a loft where they can get really hot on a summer's day, and it'd be a great thing to cool you down. Now, these are available from a large number of shops, both physical shops and online, and obviously they'll be very keenly priced. Now, while I'm up here, I just want to turn around and show you, these are the next set of panels, posts rather, that I've got set up for going behind the bus station. So I'm almost finished. I'm almost finished with them. Just put that back down there. Now, they have actually kind of stuck to the baseboard a little bit. And there we go. So, sorry it's been a short update this month. As I say, I haven't been able to do a lot, but I'm hoping the next few days to start putting the rest of these fence posts up. And then I've put the chain link fencing somewhere, so I'll find that and then we'll get the layout done. And sorry I've not got any running shots for you this month as well. So that's it for the November update. I'm sorry if I haven't mentioned your layouts this month or your club, but there's so many all the time. But you have my full support, whoever you are. I'll see you next month for the December update, the last one of 2020, and hopefully I'll have a little bit more work done, and hopefully I'll have a couple of running shots for you. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you soon. Goodbye for now.